Hello, welcome to HITC Sport. Alright, Premier League predictions are back. Finally, after they stopped calling off half the matches. Anyway, right, let's get into it. Let's take a look at the Premier League results for this weekend and just see how many I get right. Right, let's go. Brighton versus Crystal Palace. Why? Why do Brighton and Crystal Palace hate each other? I don't understand. There's 50 miles separating Crystal Palace and Brighton. They are over an hour car journey away from each other. I don't get why. Why are Crystal Palace fans about to descend on the Amex Stadium looking like they love nothing more than to eat some Brighton supporting granddad in a sandwich? To me, this should be nothing more than a mid-table clash with an atmosphere on par with a Sunday morning picnic. But no, again, Palace fans are probably going to wind up beating up local children at a Brighton bus stop. I mean, the guy selling hot dogs out of a van across the road from the ground is probably already bracing himself for having about 4 bottles of milk chucked through his window. Listen, I'm gonna say this until I'm blue in the face. Brighton sitting pretty 9th in the league table is a false position. Of course it is. The last 17 weeks, you have won 2 games of football. 2 wins in 117 days. This is a set of fans who actually went 90 days without seeing their team win at all. But Brighton fans went a full 7 million seconds without seeing their team win this season. And you all talk about Potter as if he just won the Gryffindor Cup. Am I the only one who sees him as the modern day Michael Laudrup? Yeah, he's the media darling now, but give him 5 years and he's probably going to be working as a dentist. This is the battle of a media hotshot versus a young manager who's actually going to leave a serious inedible mark on the game. Honestly, Conor Gallagher's going to run the show in midfield. I'm going to go for a pretty comfy 2-0 Palace win. Man City versus Chelsea. These teams must be sick to the sight of each other. This is the 5th time Chelsea played Manchester City inside the last year. Yes, 2 of those games were utter Manchester City walkovers at Stamford Bridge. I mean, make no mistake about it. In September, that was a 1-0 thumping of Chelsea. But then, Thomas Tuchel beat Pep Guardiola 3 times at the bounce before that, including in the goddamn Champions League final. We've got Romelu Lukaku lining up against a team that he supposedly rejected to stay in Italy. I mean, these are 2 sets of fan bases that the Belgian successfully managed to alienate inside one interview on his couch. I mean, I'm guessing City fans, hearing that a Manchester United reject turned them down to instead share a dressing room with Ashley Young and an elderly empty Chris Packer like Alexander Kolarov. Oh, it's a bit of a blow to the ego. And also, it didn't really make sense. I mean, Guardiola ball is all about fluency, timing, and technique. I think Lukaku has proven that while he is an elite finisher, he also has the first touch of a broken wheelie bin. So you're damn right this weekend City fans are going to chant about him being about as technically gifted as the donkey off Shrek. Chelsea are currently 10 points adrift at the top in January. Your title challenge is essentially on a life support machine. I mean, if you lose on Saturday morning, that is the equivalent of some nurse filling your lungs with poo. The nerves, the pressure. Tuchel was hailed as a genius last May, but I'm sorry, a defeat here and suddenly, despite adding a £100 million striker to an already Champions League winning squad, suddenly your title challenge is lying dead in a ditch halfway through January. Lampard was sacked from this team last year with Chelsea 9 points adrift of top spot. Lose here and you're 13 points behind. For the money spent, that is not good enough. I'm gonna go for another 1-0 Man City win courtesy of Raheem Sterling. And so think of the sack rumours on Monday when Tuchel, despite being title favourites in the summer, is now in January and just 3 points ahead of West Ham. Christ above. Newcastle versus Watford. I still can't get over how sickeningly, cartoonishly evil it was of Newcastle to, despite having unlimited financial resources, to then just go and steal the only half-decent striker from the relegation rival directly sitting above them in the table. Christ above, teams fighting for their lives down the bottom, they cling on to their goal scorers at all costs. Christ above, the Watford owners would probably rather sooner blow up a children's hospital than let Emmanuel Dennis go to the African Nations Cup for a month. So I'm guessing whoever agreed to stick at £25 million release clause in Chris Wood's contract, you should probably phone in sick for a few weeks, because I'm guessing Sean Dyche is probably going to want to break your nose with a brick. Listen, this match is arguably the most important game of Eddie Howe's career. Beat Watford on Saturday and Newcastle will be out of the relegation zone for the first time since September. Can you imagine the relief around Tyneside? Christ, it's like finally escaping the basement at your uncle's house. No longer will you have to sleep in a school bag and stay alive by eating the soles of your shoes for dinner. But here is the bad news. Newcastle's record against Watford is utter cat sick. In the last 11 meetings between the teams, the Geordies have tasted victory once. Watford have won 7 of those games, including 3 at St James's Park. I'm not sure why, I don't know what the reason is, but Watford have repeatedly chewed through Newcastle as if they're just wet porridge. But Eddie Howe is a man who at least has some semblance of a footballing plan. By contrast, Claudio Ranieri's game plan just seems to be consisting of bribing his defence to keep clean sheets by offering them boxes of pizza. I mean, look at your player. No, Claudio, look at Danny Rose. I think eating nothing but pizza has been his problem. How is this man still in a job? Has nobody noticed that Watford have lost the last 7 games? They haven't collected a single point since they forced Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to lose his job. In that time frame, Ranieri has watched his old Leicester team help themselves to 8 goals against his current one, which is a bit embarrassing. It's a bit like watching your ex-wife beat up your current partner outside the back of Pizza Hut. Honestly, Newcastle are going to scrape a vital 1-0 win courtesy of a second half goal from Chris Wood. Honestly, it's going to be a Chris Wood header. Ranieri is going to be instantly fired, while Dyche is going to be sitting on his couch watching Burnley stuffed to the bottom of the league and contemplating whether or not to jam his knob at the bathroom door. Anything to numb the pain. So yes, Newcastle are going to win this game and then next week announce the signing of Hugo Etiquette. And what? Is that not how you say his name? Hugo Etiquette? Norwich versus Everton. Rafa Benitez is walking on the thinnest shard of ice he can possibly find. He is this close to sinking to the bottom of a frozen lake. I mean, let's be honest, the Everton fans look at him the same way you look at your aunt when she eats an entire birthday cake off the dog's stomach. It's pretty revolting to watch. He is a Liverpool god standing in the Everton dugout. And honestly, make no mistake about it, he has got you in a relegation scrap. This was supposed to be an ambitious step forward in his career. Well lads, he's just 8 points ahead of the team he walked out on, and guess what? Newcastle went 15 games without a win, and I'm pretty confident by the end of the season Newcastle are going to finish above Everton. Everton have picked up 6 points from the last possible 36. That is revolting. Rafa Benitez is a man who prides himself on being organised. I'm sorry, right now, Everton have the organisation of a dyslexic cow doing a crossword puzzle. Last time out, they were played off the park at home to Brighton. It's embarrassing. And now, travelling to Norwich City to face a manager who's already tactically smacked you about like a pinata made of egg whites. I mean, do you remember when Everton lost 3-0 at Villa Park? Honestly, Everton usually lose every time they set foot on a football pitch these days. So yeah, I can see a 1-0 Norwich win, leaving Burnley rock bottom of the table, and crucially just like a pensioner sitting in bed apologising to his wife without any white. Wolves versus Southampton. Yeah, we've got a pretty mediocre mid-table clash with nothing really riding on it. But listen, Wolves are in brilliant form, and I'm sorry, not enough is being made of their ridiculous defence. If by May I don't see at least one Wolves defender in the PFA team of the season, then honestly, I'm going to riot outside Molyneux. This Wolves team have conceded 14 goals in 19 Premier League matches. There's 8 clean sheets stuffed in there. I'm sorry, but they were given a fixture list from hell over Christmas against all of the current top 4 and Manchester United, and guess what? They conceded just 3 times in those 8 games. That is monstrous. And similarly, Southampton are in good form too, so you know what? I'll go for a 0-0 draw. Aston Villa versus Man United. Aston Villa have absolutely nothing to fear. Not only is this team who've already ground out a win at Old Trafford already this season, but lads, they were a couple of dodgy VAR decisions away from knocking Man United out of the FA Cup. Christ, well, Steven Gerrard took his plucky young team to Old Trafford, and instead of sticking a bus on the goal line, they went and had 13 shots at David De Gea's goal. There is no fear in this Aston Villa side, especially not now that they've added the likes of Luca Digne and Philippe Coutinho to this squad. 2 men who over the course of their careers have soaked up £220 million in transfer fees, and they're both at Villa Park. That is ridiculous. Although I have to say, I think I should take credit for the Luca Digne one. I suggested this transfer before there was even any rumours.
But don't go to Chelsea though. Digne, don't listen to Rafa Benitez. You are a top-class left back, not some Chelsea stopgap who next season will be back to warming the bench and playing second fiddle to £50 million Ben Chilwell. No, you deserve a contract guaranteeing you first team football for years to come. Go on then, ring up Aston Villa. I mean, I think Matt Targett is a human chunk of kidney pie, but don't go to Chelsea's bench.
But both men, they've said they've only signed for Aston Villa because of who the manager is. Poor old Dean Smith. Here he was, about as inspirational as a bowl of Cocoa Pops, and only able to sign lads from Nottingham Forest, Brentford and Norwich. And yet the second Stevie G comes through the door, suddenly he's signing genuine world talents. 2 players he used to play for Barcelona. I mean, I guess, playing under someone like Dean Smith is probably about as appealing as sharing a pizza with Harvey Weinstein, I guess. But you know what? I'm going to go for a historic prediction. Manchester United have not lost a Premier League match at Villa Park since 1995. life. But even worse, Villa haven't done a league double over Man United since 1954, and does that even count? Because Man United lost to them on the 27th of December, and then the very next day on the 28th. I'm sorry, what? And this being 3 days after Christmas, playing the same game 2 days in a row. Surely those players' hamstrings felt like wet steaks. How was that allowed to happen? I mean, before that, you have to go back to 1930, when Villa won 4-3 at Old Trafford, and then 7-0 at Villa Park. Pretty sure if that happened now, Adam McCullough would probably get sick out his nose. But I'm sorry, I have a feeling that initially, on loan, Coutinho is going to have the same impact that Jesse Lingard had at West Ham. Because I'm sorry, this is the moment you have to save your career. Because if you fail in a mid-table team with Ashley Young, showing no work ethic and strolling about like a disinterested pigeon, being outshot in midfield by a former Hibernian number 8. Oh, then I'm sorry, soon you'll be joining Oscar out in some Chinese village for Halloween. I think he will light up Villa Park, and Manchester United's 4-2-2 nonsense will be exposed quicker than a Prince Andrew alibi, and Coutinho is going to eat you in a sausage sandwich. Spurred on by that brilliant FA Cup showing, Aussie Villa are going to blow Manchester United out of the water. I'm going for a 3-0 Villa win, with Gerrard resisting the urge to kiss the camera in the face. Trust me, I'm going to look like a genius on Monday. This clip will go viral because I'm sorry, I am the only person on planet Earth to correctly predict this. Aston Villa 3, Manchester United 0. Trust me, it's happening. Liverpool versus Brentford. Yeah, this is Brentford's first trip to Anfield since 1989. This is going to be an event. Listen, I know the Bees were brilliant to grind out a 3-3 draw at Liverpool in September, but Brentford need to be careful. I don't think anyone will at any point in this season be able to comfortably confirm them as being safe from the drop, because they're so goddamn erratic. Let's not forget, they went on a 4-game losing streak. I mean, yeah, they're capable of 1 week of grinding out an important win over Aston Villa, and then going to Southampton to get ripped apart by an Albanian child. Aussie, they need to be careful. They are the Premier League's equivalent to that weird drunken granny who you can never really relax around. 1 minute she's quietly watching Coronation Street, the next she's trying to set fire to the Christmas tree before urinating in the oven. Brentford are 12 points clear of 18th, but honestly, I'm not that confident they'll even stay up. Anyway, you're coming up against a blunted Liverpool team, but still 2-0 Liverpool win. West Ham versus Leeds. West Ham versus Leeds. Didn't we already have that game in the FA Cup last week? Just like the Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley rematch, is anyone going to tune into this again? Considering Leeds have visited this ground twice in their history and lost both games 2-0, then Aussie, I would have to have a brain made of pumpkin snot to not predict 2-0 again. Yeah, West Ham 2, Leeds 0. Simple. Tottenham versus Arsenal. 2-0 Tottenham win. Sorry, this is going to be a highlight of Antonio Conte's Tottenham era. Listen, Arteta is doing a very good job, but come on. Up against a serial champion like Conte. Just like the derby at the Emirates Stadium, this one is going to be virtually done and dusted by half time. It's actually going to be painful to watch. No Thomas Partey in midfield, Harry Kane back amongst the goals. Honestly, Conte is going to annihilate Mikel Arteta. 2-0 Tottenham win. Trust me on that. Anyway, that's it. What do you think? Alright, let me know your predictions in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe. As always, I'll talk to you in a while.